Check 1, 2, 3. Stirring the coffee with chopsticks using the vortex method, the only true way to optimize the taste of your coffee at the molecular level. Good morning. Welcome to the Daybreak Show. I am the Sultan. We'll get started, but first, Triple Bastard Dark Roast Coffee, the official coffee sponsor. This damn cord is driving me nuts. The official coffee sponsor of the Daybreak Show. Let's give this a shot. But first, coffee. Nice. Think of me. You know that I'd be with you if I could. I'd come around to see you once in a while, or if I ever need a reason to smile, and spend the night if you think I should. Todd Rundgren, 1972. The song, Hello, It's Me. Everybody needs to get to know that song. Good song. There's so many versions of it on the web right now, and I think you would benefit from it. There is a live studio version of it that I absolutely love, where they're just kind of starting the song. There's several starts to the song. They keep starting it over until they get it right. It's one of my favorite versions of the song. Todd Rundgren, Hello, It's Me. And when you start looking at Todd Rundgren's hits, even though the guy is a little bit of a nut, you got to kind of separate yourself from that stuff. You will really start to appreciate the guy's talent. So I encourage you to check out Todd Rundgren. Father Hate, one of the red flags of Red Flagistan, the girls from Red Flagistan. Father Hate causes women to be sexual tourists, to kind of tour the world and the country, almost to get back at their dad unconsciously. I can't explain it. Just kind of blanking their way around the globe. Back in my more sexual degenerate days, I knew a lot of women who were sexual tourists. That's just another way of being called a whore. Pretty much a sexual tourist.
You're a whore.
But at the root cause of all degenerate sexual activity in women is something's a little bit off with their relationship with their father. I can't put my finger on it, but I've seen it 1,000 times. And it's amazing what father hate will do to a woman. Maybe one of the first things that you should look for when you're with a woman, going out to dinner, a cup of coffee for the first time, is check out that father relationship thing. Just kind of sneak that question in there or create a scenario where she has to talk about that. There were some situations that I was in where I eventually found out that the relationship with the dad isn't so good. And no wonder I had problems. No wonder it led to nothing but a dead end in a relationship. Father hate in a woman causes a woman to be a sexual tourist. I've seen it. Love is patient. I'm going to read 1 Corinthians 13. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love does not envy or boast. It is not arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice at wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. That's 1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 7. And the average wedding, that is usually a reading during a wedding ceremony. I remember years ago somebody encouraged me to put my name, replace the word love with my name, and see if I truly am a loving person. They say, I'm a loving person. I'm a loving person. All right, so let's do this. George is patient. George is kind. Mostly kind. George does not envy or boast. I don't envy anyone. I do boast a little. George is not arrogant or rude. I'm not arrogant, but I can be rude. George does not insist on his own way. Most of the time I don't. George is not irritable or resentful. Failed that test. George does not rejoice at wrongdoing. I don't, but rejoices with the truth. I passed that test. George bears all things. George believes all things. George hopes all things. George endures all things. Replace the word love in 1 Corinthians 13 with your first name and see if you pass the test. Man, I failed it miserably. But what a great template for love. Someone says, I love you. George, I love you. I'm like, look at 1 Corinthians 13. Put your name in there. What I don't want to do is pull it out myself and put her name in there, and because she'll probably fail that test. Many pretty women have entitlement. It's like what I call pretty girl syndrome, pretty girl privilege. They're beyond anything that holds them accountable. That's why a lot of women run from marriage, because the main thing in marriage is accountability. A woman breaks up with you because she doesn't want to be accountable. It's not because she loves you. It's not because the old boyfriend came back. It's she doesn't want to be accountable. It's a hard thing for a guy to swallow. Well, she's doing all the swallowing. Jack Benny says, hey, doctor, this tongue depressor tastes great. The doctor, played by Frank Nelson, said, you should have tasted it when the popsicle was on it. That's from the Jack Benny Show in 1954. Pretty funny. I was watching a podcast with Rachel Wilson. She's talking with Pearl Davis. And Rachel has a debate with a feminist. Feminist says, a woman can do anything a man can do. Rachel's reply is, you get into a car every morning that a man made. You drove that car on roads that men made. You go to a building, office building, that men made. You sit down at a desk that men made. Your computer goes down. Who do you call? The IT guy. All right, men are important. Men make the world go round. Let's face it. And there's a generation of women that are starting to kind of catch up with that. And that men made things happen. And that women should be thankful to men for creating that world that they live in. Not a lot of women have thankfulness about that. Agreeableness in a woman. Does that mean she needs to agree with everything you say? Nah. It just means that she's good-natured. How many good-natured women do you know? I know just a handful. The rest are just insufferable. And I think this modern society has caused that. It's very difficult to find an agreeable woman these days. I remember texting the phrase, the sentence, make me a sandwich, to 10 women I knew. This is years ago, maybe. I don't know, back in like 2017. Make me a sandwich. 2 women texted back something. This is back when I was a different kind of guy. 2 women texted back something favorable. One was, what kind of sandwich would you like? Of course. What kind of sandwich do you want? Like that kind of thing. The second one said, that was kind of funny. A little sexual, right? The rest? No. The rest? Make your own damn sandwich. I meant it in good fun. But 80% of the women who replied back had a disagreeable nature about the phrase, make me a sandwich. Gentlemen, ignore disagreeableness at your own peril. You want a woman who is happy to serve you, happy to help you, and vice versa. Honey, can you help me with this? Sure. And that goes in both directions. Why would you take an ex back after she's had another man's eggplant in her mouth because, she did the same sexual activity with new dude that she did with you? She's not Mother Teresa. Being disgusted is an effective move-on tool. You're supposed to be repulsed by it. And if you're not, you need to look at your codependency issues. Mate guarding is real. You're supposed to be protective of the woman that you love. Not just kind of let her go. It's not out of sight, out of mind. The religious community is now attacking the red pill community and many of its main voices. But let me put it this way. Until some of them get their hearts smashed, and all of a sudden they start backpedaling. And my job as a red-pilled Christian guy is to show grace, mercy, and love and understanding, no matter how hard I get slammed by the religious community. One fellow says, marry a woman who doesn't believe in divorce. I would love to gather a bunch of women in a room and say, raise your hand if you believe in divorce. No hands are going to go up. Nobody gets married thinking they're going to get divorced. And then all of a sudden it happens. She gets divorced. She's not happy. You're not the man I married. Blah, blah, blah. I don't think that red pill truths, I mean, other than spinning plates, having sex with multiple women and all this kind of stuff, I don't believe it's incompatible with Christianity. I think a lot of red pill truths are more like compatible with Proverbs. Some of the stuff I'm going through on Church of the Total Man on Sunday mornings. Church of the Total Man exists because men need to connect with a community that accepts them. Single, divorced, MGTOW, incel, including those who are celibate by design. Not every man is wired for spinning plates and having multiple women in his bed. We don't hate women at Church of the Total Man. We want to be educated and encouraged by wisdom of the ages. I haven't been comfortable in a church in years as a single guy, as a divorced guy. I can find brotherhood, camaraderie, and support at my biker bar. That makes me happier than when I go to church. I can walk away from my bar feeling like that was a good night. That felt good. I can walk out of church and go, oh, why did I even go here today? I felt isolated, alone, looked at by husbands and boyfriends who are like, don't look at my wife. Don't look at my girlfriend. I feel like I don't belong in most churches. And as an open to marriage man who would love to be married, and I want to honor God, it's difficult for me to be amongst other people who are married with children in a church setting. Churches just don't know what to do with a man who's searching for truth. They don't know what to do with a man who's hurting or just out of a relationship or marriage. They have no clue. No clue. That's why Church of the Total Man exists. It's basically the book of Proverbs, a living version of the book of Proverbs. Divorce and breakup bros. One of the things that's going to surprise you is how fast she moved on when your relationship ended. It's going to blow your mind, or it did blow your mind. You got to realize that. Women move on much faster than a man. It's a fact. Men suffer much longer after breakups and divorce. That's why I'm developing my breakup and divorce masterclass for you guys. You will move away from all things manosphere and wonder why you ever had anything to do with it. However, red pill truths will stay with you and help optimize your life and keep you from moving forward with certain decisions. Basically, all red pill truths are found in the book of Proverbs. You got to realize that. Handsome, tall, and jacked guys who make $1 million a year, guess what? They still get dumped too. They still hurt. They still cry themselves to sleep. They message me in private and say, I'm hurting, man, and I don't know what to do. This is freaking killing me. Help me. Those are my clients, and I help them. Guys that are formerly strong, rocks, statues of a man, hurt when they go through breakups or divorce. So all of the looks maxers, money maxers, body maxers, you know what? Everybody gets their heart smashed. Every last one of them. The red pill movement exists to enlighten men of all ages to stop being exploited and treated like a commodity or a tool by women, to prevent unnecessary suffering, and to prevent you from being a placeholder until she monkey branches to the next best guy. It's quite simple, and only honest men will agree with me. Most women will flake. About 80% will flake on you somehow, some way. If you swiped 100 women and started communicating with 100 women on a dating site, about 80% will flake. 20% you will have good communication with. 80% are the women from Red Flagistan. A 25-year marriage or a 4-year dating relationship where you are engaged, a woman will flake on you for no reason. Don't try to figure it out. It's what they do. Any older man will tell you. It's like my grandfather once said to me, they're all crazy. Women over 40 who are never married, no children, are basically sexual tourists. They just kind of fuck their way around the world, in states, in countries, in girl vacations, and solo vacations, and business trips. So you are not that special, or as special as you think. You know what it boils down to? You just end up like the girl that you loved and the one that loved you, the one that you bought the ring for, the jewelry for. Guess what you are to her right now? You are just someone that she used to know. You're a guy that she used to date. You get reduced to one sentence.
Yeah, he's a guy that I used to date.
Imagine that. If she uses the F word with you, friend, you're done. If she refers to you as a friend or a buddy, start the disconnect process or ghost for your own sanity. And with that, finish your coffee. And I'll see you on the next Daybreak Show, your home of sanity, clarity, and reason.